This is Southern Cross News with Rachel Williams.
Good evening, welcome to Southern Cross News. Authorities have stopped up to 10,000 hits of crystal methamphetamine from reaching Tasmanian streets after a major drug detection at Hobart Airport. Police allege a 31-year-old man stuffed $1 million worth of drugs into his underpants on a flight arriving from Sydney. It's being described as one of the most significant drug hauls in Tasmanian history.
These are the 2 packets of crystal meth allegedly found in a man's underwear yesterday afternoon. Police say they were acting on sound intelligence.
A male person was apprehended by police at the Hobart International Airport after arriving on a flight from Sydney. It's alleged by police that the Tasmania Police drug detective received a positive indication from this male.
Authorities netting almost 1 kilogram of crystal methamphetamine, providing up to 10,000 hits with an estimated street value of $1 million.
If that was on the streets, that could create significant harm to the community, medical harm, health harm, and the impact of the community would be significant. So it's a very good haul to get this amount off the streets.
A 31-year-old Gagebrook man appeared in an out-of-hours court session today, charged with a major offence of trafficking drugs. He's been remanded until Monday. This is the 3rd alleged drug detection here at the Hobart Airport in the last week. A Victorian man and a Mowbray man have been charged with trafficking cocaine and methamphetamine from Sydney on Thursday.
The intelligence that Tasmania Police have, and that's supported by the apprehensions that we make, indicates that the illicit drugs of this nature are actually being imported into the state rather than being produced locally.
Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
And there are calls from some Tasmanian Liberal figures to take a leaf out of Labor's book by reforming leadership rules. Senator Jonathan Duniam says the party needs to consider ways to stop the coups from crippling Australian politics.
Far away from the political bloodshed of Canberra, Tasmania's Liberal senators were in Ross, soul-searching a day after disposing their leader. Even those who sealed the fate of Malcolm Turnbull say it's time to consider changing the leadership rules.
What we need to do is discuss ways that it could work. We've seen the Labor Party have put in place thresholds around how they can call for leadership changes if they need to.
It takes just 2 members of the Liberal Party to bring on a spill. Labor's model requires 75% of the party room vote to change the leader in government and 60% in opposition.
I'm not advocating for specific changes to replicate those, but I think it's important we consider any models that are currently in use.
Eric Abetz says he's happy to have the conversation, even if he blames Mr Turnbull for his own demise.
It was a great discourtesy, and to be confronted with a leadership spill without knowing it was going to happen, courtesy of the then Prime Minister. He was the architect of his own problems that then unfolded, all very untidy, all very sad.
What Labor thinks about it all isn't known. Tasmanian figures kept out of the spotlight today. But some commentators say finding a balanced approach is easier said than done.
I don't know whether they should go as far as Labor. I think Labor's actually gone too far, and Labor could have some problems under their rules removing a bad leader if they have one.
Sean McComish, Southern Cross News.
And Tasmania remains on track to be fruit fly free in time for next year's busy harvest. It's hoped the state will be reinstated as a pest-free area by the 9th of January next year.
This state is predicated on obviously finding no more fruit fly over the coming months and also negotiations with our trading partners, but this is allowing the industry to be able to plan for the future.
The government says it's still supporting growers affected by the outbreak. It's estimated the total spent on assistance will reach $3 million by January. Some of the state's brightest young technical minds showed off their latest creations today, with the University of Tasmania hosting the annual RoboCup Junior State Tournament. Students from around the state taking part in the robotic-centred competition. Judges assessing their teamwork, problem-solving and coding skills.
Eastern Shore rivals Clarence and Lauderdale are currently battling it out to keep their premiership dream alive, with the Southern Bombers up by 8 points during the first quarter of play. Earlier, Glenorchy pulled off one of the most impressive fight-backs in recent years, coming from a 30-point deficit against Launceston to book a spot in the semi-final. The Pies came out flying at Blunston Arena with Jay Bowden looming large early, but disaster struck just minutes later when his day was brought to an abrupt end with the star forward needing to be carried from the field. Brodie Rowbottom stepping in to give the Pies their first, a costly 50-metre penalty gifting the Blues some momentum with young AFL draft prospect Chase Jones making sure of it. Another brain fade from the Pies saw Joby Harper with the chance to extend it with the gun midfielder sending it straight through the middle of the sticks. Jake Smith bursting through to find space as the Blues began to run rampant. Refusing to be outdone, Brody Palfreman made it a 15-point difference come quarter time. Mitch Thorpe exerting his influence on the match to put the Blues in the box seat at the final change. Cool, calm and collected, Paul Kennedy's demeanour rubbed off on his men as his side mounted one of the comebacks of the year, booting themselves back into the lead in the dying minutes and setting up a semi-final showdown with North Launceston with a 14-point win. After winning the past 3 State Netball League premierships, the Arrows have finally been dethroned, with the Northern Hawks crowned 2018 champions in Hobart a short time ago. Both sides came out firing with things neck and neck right up until the final term, but with the reigning premiers threatening to break away, the Hawks held their nerve, seizing control of the match as the clock wound down and coming away the 66-57 goal winners. It was a hotly contested opening day of play at Utah's stadium with 10 universities from around the country battling it out in the annual AON Uni series. One of the fastest growing sports on the planet, some of the world's best players were on show with the tournament wrapping up tomorrow.
17 degrees today for Hobart, Launceston and Burnie a top of 15 and 13 degrees for Devonport. 19 was the state's high at Friendly Beaches, 18 for Ouse and Fingal. St Helens and Grove hit 17, 15 at Smithton with 14 for Scottsdale, Strawn and also on the Bass Strait Islands. On the charts, patchy low cloud over the west and the north of the state through the Bass Strait. Further out shows extensive cloud band extending from south of WA. Areas of low cloud ahead of the front linked to the high pressure system, but mostly clear elsewhere. Tomorrow, a cold front approaches western Tasmania, extending into the Bight. The high has moved to the west of WA and the low remains over the centre. West to northwesterly winds 15 to 25 knots, reaching 30 about the west and the south, with seas to 3 metres. Strong wind warning for all coastal waters tomorrow. There's a road weather alert and also a bushwalkers alert for snow on roads and tracks as low as 250 metres, and a sheep graziers alert for the southeast. 15 for Hobart and Richmond, 14 at Ouse. 14 and showers in Launceston, 13 degrees for Devonport and Deloraine, 13 degrees in Burnie, Strawn and Curry with showers throughout, and late showers for St Helens 15, Swansea 16 and 14 degrees and showers for Whitemark. There are showers with possible hailstorms for the west on Monday, also to the south and the east, mostly clear elsewhere. Showers about the state throughout the south and the east of Bass Strait on Tuesday with widespread morning frost, but mostly fine day. And similar conditions, again, just some coastal showers around the southeast on Wednesday. Looking at your major centres for tomorrow, sunny 22 degrees for Perth, Adelaide 17, showers for Canberra and Sydney, 16 with fog for Melbourne, 20 in Brisbane, 32 and sunny for Broome. And mostly clear night in Hobart, 11 degrees, 11 also for Launceston and also Devonport. That's all from me.
Wonderful. Thank you for that, Sam. Well, that's all your news for now. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Good night.